Maybe. Alright, there we go. Technical issues, nothing too bad. Let's begin. What the fuck was that? Oh, this is gonna be creepy as shit, and I love it, and we're gonna do it because we can. The Emringard Mansion, whatever the fuck that is. It was built for Lord William and Lady Elizabeth. I'm gonna go Ermengarde, because that seems appropriate, of Luxbourne, humble ambassadors of peace and beloved by their people. Both were well known for their compassion and generosity, never failing to extend a helping hand to anyone in need. Under their influence and wealth, what was once a small, sleepy village grew to a prosperous and bustling town. Well, clearly not, because that house looks like shit. However, the seasons of joy eventually ended when the good nobles perished at the hands of a great plague. Their riches and legacy, were henceforth passed on to their only child, Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. Someone will correct me eventually. Even the game's like, really? The mansion has stood since the 1620s, a witness to a very long history of joy and pain. After Lady Charlotte committed suicide, wow, that got serious real quick, the house is eventually left uninhabited. And that's when it began. Surrounding villagers spoke of seeing and hearing unearthly things, of cries and howls that filled nights, and hearsays of a mysterious woman roaming the hollowed halls aimlessly. My God, I can read. People who dared enter its walls were simply never heard from again. Even after 400 years, the stories remain, much like the house itself. Whispers about the once great house, its legend, and its curse still fall upon villagers' ears. In spite of this, the current owners are convinced that these stories are nothing more than a hoax. With little regard for the truth, they had Briar Reality Corporation place the property back on sale. Like Pandora's box, the secrets that lie inside await to be discovered by brave souls. No matter what happens, take care not to be consumed by the curse. Oh dear. Actually, give me one sec. I want to move these because this is bugging the shit out of me because I can see it. Alright, we're gonna deal with that. Whatever. Oh dear. Good luck. Oh, great. Oh, I'm... Yo.
Hello?
Oh, shit. A familiar, jittery voice comes from the other end.
Oh, hey, Rose. I'm at St. Goretti High. What's the matter?
Anything as mass in volume?
What do you mean, what's the matter? It's the mansion, silly. I'm here and you're late.
Fuck you, bitch.
Jeez, we're on shift together. You promised.
I promise you it's... whatever.
Oh my God, please don't tell me you forgot. You were planning on leaving me to check this place out on my own, weren't you?
Now I was.
You chickened out.
Calm down. You know I take my promises seriously.
I'd like to believe that. So hurry up and get here. This place is huge. A bit too quiet since no one's lived here since, like, forever, but beautiful nonetheless.
Why are you so surprised? This isn't the first time you've been there.
I know. I just wish I could live in a place like this.
See that dude right there in the back, in the poster? That's not, he looks like a supervillain.
It really takes my breath away.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Not after the rumors that say it's haunted.
Jeez, never mind those rumors. Ghosts aren't real after all.
Hmm?
And even if they are, which they are not, they can't do anything.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey, you're adorable, but no.
They're nothing but spirits.
You don't know that! They might be listening or watching right now, and they might not be happy with you enough to curse you.
She's not wrong.
No offense, sweetie, but that's a bit of a stretch.
Believe it or not, it's better to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, not every property we sell will end up with a dead body stuffed in a sofa.
And I think that mansion is where we'll likely find another one. I can feel it.
If you're lucky, it's yours.
That was one time, Isabella! Loosen up! Wait, just get here ASAP, please. I'm getting bored being here on my own.
Fine. Let me just finish up here. I'll be right there soon.
Okay, see you. Bye.
It hangs up before I can respond. Rose, still charming as ever.
Who was that?
Your mother. I look up from my phone to see Becca, giving me a questioning look. She looks jealous, to be honest.
Oh, that? It's just Rose.
Rose? The one you said who trained you for your job back when you started? You're working together again?
Maybe.
Just for this property. We've been scoping out that big mansion down Anselm Village after the renovations. Today's sort of its grand opening to the public. The RC wants to give it one last check before we let potential buyers tour it this afternoon.
Wait, mansion? That big spooky one you've been telling everyone about? Didn't you keep saying how it just gave you the creeps?
That would make sense.
You actually went there? And you're going back?
Well, I did promise Rose I wouldn't ditch her. And besides, a job is a job. Gotta do what you gotta do to make a living.
As soon as those words left my mouth, Becca let out a soft chuckle.
What's so funny?
Nothing. It's just that I didn't expect you to say that. Coming from you, it sounds so out of character.
Well, if you hear my voice between her voice, yeah, it's out of character.
I mean, no offense, but you've been freaking out about the place being creepy ever since you got assigned to it. Cursed rumors and all. I honestly thought you'd back out.
Not all the time. I could really use a huge amount of cash right now, and this is just the fastest way to get it. Plus, listen to this. Briar Realty wants it sold as soon as possible, and the agent who lands the deal is going to get a huge bonus. They never give bonuses like that. Getting that would make life so much easier. They're desperate, I'm desperate, it's perfect.
A sympathetic look crosses her face.
You know, if you're really in urgent need of money, you could have just asked me.
It would make sense.
Or Ashton. We can always let you borrow, and you can pay us back whenever.
I have to keep to myself from groaning out loud. Which is that, ugh. In the years I've known her, I can already tell what to expect when she has that expression.
Becca!
I've noticed that you've been living off instant noodles these past few weeks.
Instant noodles are delicious, don't judge. She crosses her arms and grimaces at the thought. Her voice slightly rises as she begins to scold me. Instantly, I'm reminded of why Becca is excellent at her job teaching boisterous teenagers.
Stop eating junk! They're cheap, but they're not good for you. You'll definitely end up in the hospital if you keep at it.
If you eat them for like 2 months straight, yeah. Here we go again. What do you think, hun? I eat other things too, or you're not my mom? Which one? Alright, see, if it were me, I'd probably go, well, I eat other things too.
Hey! I eat other things too!
I fold my arms across my chest, mimicking her posture and giving her the best frown I can muster. The same one I use with my younger siblings when they're being difficult. Instead, she only raises one eyebrow at me.
That's not going to work on me. And I saw it when you were cleaning your flat last week. The instant noodle cups outnumber everything else.
She knows.
You're just exaggerating. Did you even see what's in my cupboard yet? I'm not just living on instant noodles alone. I've got canned beans, peas, tuna, ham, and even hamburgers in there.
Wait. Hamburgers in a can? The fuck? Becca's wrinkling her nose by the time I get to the end of the small list. I think she even went a little green on that last one. Yeah. She's got the same look. I would have laughed a little at that if I didn't know it would only lead to more reprimands from her.
Aren't those the same ones you won from the grocer's raffle more than a year ago? Oh, I sincerely hope you're checking the date stamps on those things before eating them. I don't want a repeat of last year. In any case, those are still not exactly healthier choices, Belle.
She shakes her head, possibly laughing at some funny, distant memory. When she looks up, I immediately brace myself. More words from her. Sometimes it's just better to let Becca talk until she's out of things to say. But when she turns her attention back to me, there's only warmth in her smile.
What am I going to do with you?
She says this more to herself than me, her voice shifting to something kinder, even motherly, if I'm looking for an exact word.
I hope you know that it's impossible not to worry about you when you're like this. You don't have to keep eating the same thing. I already told you before. You're always free to reheat food in my fridge.
Thanks, Becca. I really appreciate it, but you don't need to keep babying me.
Maybe she does.
You've been taking care of me since after I moved here. You have to take a break sometime. And before you ask again, no. You know I'm not a fan of borrowing money. And I'm not going to ask you to give me what you earned hard for yourself.
You and your pride. But suit yourself. The offer stays on the table, though.
I nod in response, if only to get her to drop the topic. I'm pretty certain I will never take that offer. Ever. It has nothing to do with pride. I've simply seen plenty of times how friendships can take a turn for the worse just because of a few unpaid debts. I don't want something like that to happen between me and Becca. We may argue a lot about small, petty things, but she really feels like a real sister to me. I don't want to lose that friendship over something so trivial. Becca, taking a quick glance at something behind me, probably the clock hanging above the notice board, snaps me out of my thoughts.
Well, enough chit-chat. Lunch is ending, and my students will be back any minute. We can catch up later. Good luck with your clients. You better treat us to lunch or something if you get that sale.
You bet!
With a smile, she returns to her desk and begins shifting through the pages of a rather thick history textbook. She's probably working out her lesson plan for next week. Or trying, at least. Her eyes are distant, and she doesn't seem too attentive to whatever is on the page. As if she heard my thoughts, Becca starts coughing heavily. Her hand hastily goes to her mouth and stifles the sounds. This is precisely why I followed her here in the first place. For someone who makes a habit out of worrying for other people, Becca sure forgets how to take care of herself.
Hey, you sure you can manage on your own? I mean, you're still a bit feverish.
Hush, dear. Don't you worry about me. I'll just drink some medicine and I'll be right as rain.
Hopefully it's not NyQuil. I level her with a flat look. She's had a cold for a couple of days now. Something about this strange weather not agreeing with her lately. And despite my advice to take the week off and rest, I found her apartment empty when I dropped by this morning. She left the medicine her doctor prescribed to her. Ugh. Look who's being stubborn now.
You shouldn't even be working right now.
Sounds like me and another friend of mine.
Seriously, you big baby. I'll be fine. For now, just go to work and stop making that Rose girl wait for you. I'll call you if I still feel bad, and you can come pick me up if it makes you feel any better.
She offers me a reassuring smile, and I can only sigh. Why do I even bother? There's no stopping her once she's decided on something. Defeated, I reach inside my bag to pull out the same bottle of medicine she left earlier. She looks at it warily, and I place it in front of her. Unfortunately for her, this is the one thing I'm not letting her have her way.
All right, but don't forget what the doctor said. Drink this on time. I'll see you later, okay?
There is an amused gleam in her eyes when she shifts her gaze back to me.
Look who's playing the mother hen now.
Rebecca!
Okay. I won't tease anymore. I'll make sure to drink it, Mom.
Before I can retort, she casts another look at the clock. I take that as a sign to finally end the conversation and my short visit. With a wave of goodbye, I leave her alone to her classroom and her thoughts. That was actually a very relatable opening cutscene. That was very heartwarming. I hail a passing taxi to take me to the property as soon as I leave the school grounds. Zarbucks? Lol. The mansion is some ways out in the countryside, but I don't have trouble giving the driver the directions. Wow, I can talk. Apparently everyone living in the Luxborn city knows of it, including every bit of rumors surrounding the place. Just the mention of its name is enough for the locals to give you cautious sidelong glances. I learned that the hard way the first time I commuted there, and it only boosted my belief that there's something more to the house. I like the music in the background. That's kind of cool. Even the news of it being renovated and placed back up in the market has caused quite a stir. Thankfully, it died down a few weeks later. The place would become a lot harder to sell otherwise. I avert my eyes from the window as soon as the buildings shriek into the distance. With a glimpse of the countryside soon, although a quick glance at my watch tells me we're still a few minutes away from our destination. Might as well get some work done. Rose did ask me to do some last-minute reviews of the mansion's documents yesterday. I already looked them over last night, but you never know when things may go wrong. Life has a way of messing things up like that. Yeah, he's called Murphy, and you never want to invite him to parties, because sometimes you can fuck him up a little. Halfway through reading the papers, my phone rings again. I pick it up without looking, neatly tucked away between my ear and my shoulder. It probably just Rose again anyway.
Rose?
Guess again.
That voice.
Ash.
Bingo.
Hey, what's up?
Just checking if you're still cool later this evening.
You mean that thing with Zach?
Yeah, you know the indie movie he's been working on for months? The premiere's going on tonight at a film fest, and he's really excited to watch it with us. He even called in the middle of the night just to remind me.
Oh, jeez.
No, don't worry. I didn't forget. I'll be there.
Cool, I'll see you later. What time do you get off?
Around 6 p.m.? I don't know. It's the first day of the Ermengarde Mansion's open house, and we're expecting quite a number of potential buyers. I'll be booked the whole afternoon.
So I was right. Well, sort of. It's Ermengarde, but I still like Ermengarde.
Ermengarde Mansion?
You know, the big Jacobean mansion at Anselm Village? I'm on my way there right now, actually.
On your own?
Yeah, well, Rose is already there, but yeah.
I see. Looks like the scaredy cat finally toughened up.
Shut up!
Ash chuckles from the other end, but I can't help but roll my eyes at him.
I'll see you later. Drop me a call when you're done. I'll see if I can pick you up.
Whatever. Bye.
Whatever, bitch. Stupid ashhole. Oh. They just made a pun in this fucking game. Damn it. Okay. Always teasing me whenever he sees a chance. I'll show him who's tough. Oh, wow. Actually, let's see what's in this journal. Discover journal entry. Before going to the Ermengarde Mansion, Isabella Santos drops by St. Grady High School, check on Rebecca. Ah, that's kind of cool. She's 26. Oh, she's Filipino. That's kind of cool. Police, procedural dramas, and teleseries, comedies, and karaoke. Apparently we get a whole bunch of other people too. That's pretty nice. Apparently, okay, so Rebecca is like pretty smitten. Okay. It takes a few minutes until I finally reach the infamous mansion. I have to admit, the entire property does look wonderful from the outside. Well, I mean, comparatively to the start of the game, it looks a hell of a lot better. Beautifully situated in the middle of the vast open field with several lush green trees dotting the immediate vicinity, that converges in a small woodlands nearby. Again, reading is something I do so well. Yet, despite all of this, it does nothing to hide that something is just wrong. The surrounding area is unusually silent, and only the rustling of the leaves can be heard as the occasional breeze passes. While Anselm Village is just a few miles away, everybody keeps their distance on purpose. Perhaps out of fear, horrified at the thought of falling under the mansion's curse. Somehow, it makes me feel sad. The lack of immediate human presence just makes this place all the more eerie than it has any right to be. If it's uncanny in broad daylight, I can't imagine how this place is going to be at night.
Are you planning to go inside that place, Missy?
The voice nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Without completely taking my eyes away from the house, I give the driver a confused nod. A beat passes while I wait for him to say more, but his only answer is a non-committal hum and a return of my nod. Belatedly, it occurs to me that he must have been waiting for my payment. I mentally slap myself for spacing out and promptly hand him the fare with an apologetic look. I expected him to leave as soon as I've paid, but there's a hesitant expression on his face, as if something hasn't been said yet.
Is there something wrong?
Look, Missy, I'm sure you've heard what the people are telling everyone about that place. Nobody likes to be disturbed when they're at peace, and I'm pretty sure whatever they say is in that house doesn't want to either. I admit they did a good job fixing it up, but there must have been a reason why even distant relatives of the family who used to own the house never lived in there despite inheriting it. No wonder they wanted to get rid of it.
Maybe they just didn't like it?
You never know.
He drives off after, but what he said has left a foreboding feeling in my gut. I breathe out a heavy sigh as I make my approach towards the house. After hearing enough of the rumors, I should have expected the conversation to take that turn. But I'm already here. Backing out is completely out of the question. It isn't like I have any other choice in the matter anyway. If I want to get that bonus and commission one way or another, I've got to sell this property. The door is ajar when I get to it, however, and my own copy of the keys dangle in my hand, now useless. Rose must have left it open when she arrived. That's weird. We may be the only people here this early, but I've never known her as someone careless. Oh no, this isn't creepy in the slightest. Entering, what greets me inside leaves me gaping. They've cleaned every corner, waxed the floor, dusted the antiques, searched every nook, cranny, and crevice, and made it spick and span. It does look really nice. All for the sake of making the mansion more enticing to the modern-day landlords and ladies. Or lords and ladies, pardon. But no matter how hard they try, the mansion still looks as soulless as ever. As though it's going to eat you alive. Oh dear. If you ask me, they should have just listened to what other people have been telling them and leave this place alone. Some things in this world are better left in peace, never to be disturbed again.
Rose?
Pretty much. And that actually made me jump a little bit, not gonna lie. I called out.
Rose, I'm here. Where are you?
My voice echoes softly throughout the hallways. Nothing. Oh, who am I kidding? In a place this big, I don't think she'll hear me, no matter how deafening the silence is. She should be all the way on the other side of the property, for all I know. I quickly search for my phone and dial her number. But
the number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
what do you mean, has not been recognized? We were just talking a while ago. It's not like she is eaten by the house, right? Or maybe the ghost did hear us talking and spirited her away, right? Right? No, Isabella, don't be ridiculous. She probably just wandered deeper into the house and lost signal or something. I dial her number again, hoping to connect this time.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
But to no avail. Oh boy. I have a very bad feeling about this.
Rose? If you can hear me, please come out. Come on, Rose! This isn't funny! You know this place gives me the creeps.
No answer. Now, I have a theory that when Rose called her earlier, that wasn't Rose. I think that was a spirit. This isn't going to work. The place is big. She can be anywhere. I need to start looking for her. I take a deep breath before venturing deeper into the mansion. Taking a... God, that noise freaked me out. Taking a couple steps forward, I notice something move by the hallway above the grand staircase.
What the hell? Rose? Rose, is that you?
Didn't see shit.
Not funny! I'm leaving you if you don't come out! Not coming out, huh? Fine, I'm going!
Okay, that is a lie. She's my friend. I can't really leave until I know she's alright. Growing desperate, I make another attempt to reach her number. Come on, give me something. Please, Lord. Yes, finally.
Hello? Hello? Rose, I'm here at the mansion. Where the hell are you?
She doesn't respond. There's also a heavy static coming from her side. Oh, fuck. I sincerely hope it doesn't get cut off again before I can get an answer from her.
Rose, come on. Where are you?
A few moments pass until the static eventually starts to quiet down.
I'm attic.
What? The attic? Why?
Crap, it got cut off. Oh, that's creepy as shit. Man, do I really need to go there? With how deep inside the mansion the attic is, there's barely any signal there. No wonder I can't contact her. But why is she there? Out of all places, she just has to make me go fetch her in the creepiest room of this place. Is she doing this to get back at me for being late? It's kind of petty. Whatever, I'll just go. The sooner I meet up with her, the sooner I'll feel better about being here. I carefully make my way up the staircase. My legs wobble as I mentally curse the fact that I've chosen real estate instead of picking a career that doesn't involve strange abandoned houses. Upon reaching the top of the grand hallway, it greets me. It branches out of the two major wings of the mansion, the east wing and the west wing. There are two attics here, one on each side. But the east one has been converted into a storage room of sorts, and somehow I find it least likely for Rose to wander there by herself. Besides, she never did like going into stuffy storage rooms. So I head towards the west wing, where a simple wooden door at the end of the hall opens to a small room. Inside is another set of steps leading to the second attic. Unlike the grand staircase, though, the stairs to the attic are steep and narrow, made of some old stones, and converted with a thick coating of dust that kicks up into the air with every step. Thank God it's still daytime. If it isn't for the light streaming through the door behind me, I may easily stumble and fall. With how old this place is, there are no light fixtures to illuminate the cramped passage up. Why they didn't bother to add one here when they renovated escapes me. Sheesh, they did it with the rest of the house. A small bedroom welcomes me at the end. It looks exactly as it did the last time I've been here, full of dust, worn out and faded by time. Odd, I thought they cleaned everything. Did the crew miss this room? Ugh, the cleanliness is the least of my concerns right now. The more pressing matter is Rose. She's not here. Was I dreaming when I talked to her a while ago? Did I mishear her? No. Couldn't have been a dream. After all, the creepy ambiance of this estate is doing such a remarkable job of making sure I stay alert and awake. And I'm sure she's here in the attic. Is this a prank? Or maybe the phone call was Rose's last message to me before the curse got her. Ugh, shut up, brain, you're not helping. Don't make this scarier than it already is. But if she's not here, where is she? Of course that would make me jump. Bastards. The hell was that? That's it. I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. We must have angered the spirits living here. I knew disturbing this mansion was a bad idea right from the very start. But nobody listened. Be fucking realistic, they said. They think I'm cuckoo because I believe in ghosts and curses and all that. Me and my outlandish backwater country beliefs. I've always strived to be a model employee, but not this time, no. I'm turning my back for the sake of my sanity. Briar Realty can find another agent who's more fucking realistic to tour people around this haunted house. Before leaving, I take one last look at the gloomy old room, just to check.
Huh? What's this?
My worries about Rose's whereabouts must have caused me to miss it when I first entered the room, but there's clearly something on the floor. It looks
letter?
like a letter? Lying on the ground, just a couple of inches away from my feet. Out of sheer curiosity, I lean down and pick it up. Strange. I don't recall seeing this last time I was here. A few days back, me and a few other agents inspected the mansion to prepare for today. I had been the last to look inside the attic and leave, and this certainly hadn't been here before. Someone must have left it in the room since then. Did Rose leave this for me? Was she here a while ago? I can't have missed her though, can I? There's only one set of stairs to and from the attic. This letter isn't exactly in pristine condition. In fact, it looks rather ancient. This paper is so thin, though. I'm worried it'll fall apart if I so much as touch it. Great care, I open it, and what I read shakes me to my core.
What? What? Oh my god.
And that's written in fucking blood. Oh, that's creepy. Nothing but the words "help me" fills the page, all of it, seemingly written with a crimson-shaped pen, or shaded pen. Or blood. I gulp. The same phrase just goes on until... Send this page to 5 people or else? Fuck
Send
you.
this to 5 people or else. Or else what? Or else what?
As quickly as I scan the back of the page and peek into the envelope to make sure I'm not missing out on a second page, but there's nothing.
No. Oh, please, no.
My hands tremble as dread creeps over me. This room is suddenly getting colder. I need to get out of here. Holding the paper in half, the sight that greets me next has me frozen on the spot. Oh fuck. Oh fuck me. A pair of blood-soaked feet enters the field of vision, covering gaping wounds with skin eaten halfway to flesh and bone, and all manner of things one isn't meant to see. It's too much. All of it is too much. I want to cry, call for help, but the words catch me in my throat. Even my feet don't move, and I'm completely paralyzed out of terror. Lord, please help me. Oh, fuck. Fuck, I don't know what to do. I want to be brave and look up, but I don't want to. I need to face it. Whatever, whoever these people belong to, I need to face it. And if I'm going to die, if they're going to kill me, at least I know what my killer looks like. A cold comfort. So with a deep breath, I summon every ounce of courage I have left in me and shift my gaze. What the fuck? What the fuck is that?
Please, don't hurt me!
What the fuck is that? What the fuck?
No!
Without thinking, I scramble towards the door. I struggle to open it, but it won't budge.
Stay away! Go away! Please, Lord! Make it go away!
Why? Why now? Why won't it open now? My heart sinks as reality draws in. I'm locked in. Locked in with that thing.
Let me out! Let me out! Lord, please, let me out!
It slowly approaches me as I wrench the doorknob violently back and forth. Oh shit. It's gone. Oh fuck. Where is it? No.
What?
Okay, fine. Something ate me. Oh wait, damn it. Okay. Yes! Whew. Holy fuck. The door finally swings open. I couldn't have been happier. This is how I leap out the door and I don't look back. Oh fuck. My feet pound against the floor in rhythm with loud, fast beating of my heart. Oh, that was crazy. By the time I run past the hallway, I find myself atop the grand staircase. My chest feels so tight, like it's going to burst. That's nothing compared to the feeling of hope the sight of the exit gives me. Racing down the stairs, a breathly laugh escapes me, and my shoe slips and I find myself falling. Until my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. Really? Ugh! My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious.
Go away.
The last thing I see are those feet before all I know is darkness.
Write off your loss, send letters goodbye.
That's insane.
I won't forget you, though your life fades away as I wither in this world filled with regret. Hold my hand and leave. Please don't leave me be. In these bloody halls where we shed all our tears, the darkness breaks, our memories alone remain. I reach out beyond the curtain black. I'm in too deep, so this letter I write. I want to be free, together by your side. Spend eternity in this lonely place we call home.
So eventually I think all the characters come over each other. Oh, that's so crazy. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pulled into conscious against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. Yeah, a concussion will do that to you, by the by. I just want to sleep, but the distant buzzing, poking, and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Come on. Can I just get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. A light hand taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. An icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling. Probably not.
Isabella? Isabella? Gosh, can you hear me? Isabella?
The fog of unconsciousness immediately lifts from my mind. The moment I recognize the voice, my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is focused at the co-agent. He even asks why if someone else is there with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she is keeping a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, it subsides after a few seconds until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. Yeah, she looks kind of like a bitch, like she wouldn't help you. She does, look at how she's dressed. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it, where I suspect a small bump has already formed, if the light ache in the area has any indication.
Alright, Isabella, where are we?
Oceanside?
The Ermengarde mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
And the date today?
July 26th.
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12. No, that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
She's just checking to see if your injury is in any way serious.
This time, I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her with the way she towers over us. And here I thought Rose was already tall. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone will want to clean in a suit. And an expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression, before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like a supervisor during evaluation days.
Just do it, please.
Fuck you, Rose. I eye them both warily, but recite everything as she has asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance when you started stirring. Are you alright?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic? And
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews.
And that didn't look like the cleaning crew. I really didn't.
The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose casts an apologetic smile at the woman beside her before the awkward silence stretches on further. It's her saleswoman smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. I should show this troublesome this to troublesome clients, or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both of my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open! We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose!
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump on the head. Bitch, you have a concussion! That's more than just a bump on the head. An extremely minor bump. See? Even the game's self-aware. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house. Alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promise because that's completely beside the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her. Again, Gravey can read. We're off to a great start. And push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase railings to steady myself, otherwise I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
Yeah. The two of them exchange worried glances as Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no...
All right, you in.
A smile threatens to slip out of
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
Yeah,
you shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting her banter. This woman is looking expectantly at the two of us. Her stare is making me shrink back a little myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary, negative kind of way. Far from it. Actually, her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. She coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my tongue. And Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my own blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
Oh, I hate how she says that. Oh, that cringy. Ugh. She hands Rose her business card. The words interior designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I wouldn't hold it against her, though. Despite the hearsays and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. I believe they call that nostalgia. With what it offers, the place is a definite haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough. In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please...
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
The confused look on Rose's face is impossible to miss when she glances at me. I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home. This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the white woods to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Rose nudges me with her elbow. Let's check with our supervisor. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turns her gaze on me, but I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. I may screw up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in this business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact. However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a responsible person. Anyway, given the proper explanation, she'll likely understand.
I thought something looked odd when I arrived here. Excuse me, I think I need to make a call to my secretary. Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us, presumably to double-check with someone on her side. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job, but I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxborn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I'll be very frustrated if for some reason an agreement has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working so hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCullough returns, looking a little frustrated, but an apology clear in her face. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double-check those papers.
Okay, got it. Give me a few minutes.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor's door. Their departure brings with it a hushed stillness to keep me company, neither comforting nor soothing. This alone, it's impossible not to think of what happened earlier. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. See? Called it! Call, no call? Okay. Was it my paranoia at work? A temporary lapse in my own mind after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such so I can work in peace. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ. If I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed to me dig into my palm, the jagged edges creating a shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clenching it. It's a cursory reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer close to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose has asked of me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Like, the whole, like, hallway turned, like, a blood red. Yeah, a flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed, standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines, in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose a medium-sized crowd. Their necks and arms and fingers are adorned with silver gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some have even ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day on this. They are murmuring amongst themselves, looking in the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has a superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few wandered towards me. They are mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCullough also joins her group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair as she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you!
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
They must be the clients she was talking about. I must have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? Or the television? Can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news, one way or another. I wouldn't be surprised to have seen these two. For some people who are popular, though, they aren't as dressed as loudly as the others, and in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'll say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. He's in a pod. I'll think they're our brother and sister if it isn't for their public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. Oh, what does that say? My only sunshine. Oh, that's kind of cute. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think about canceling the listing agreement. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering amongst themselves or going ooh, ah over one thing or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went to the history of this place, I answer them all. More than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I am careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxborn knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty. Even the glass thing, colorful ones,
Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
I would say so. By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of the other companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. So please, 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 please let these guys be the one. Eventually our group reaches the kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put into retaining the room's classic appeal. The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I only see in fairy tale books before. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and the tar staining the bricks and how much of a pain in the arse. By the way, they actually spelled out arse, A-R-S-E, instead of pain in the ass. They use pain in the arse. This game is surprisingly self-aware, and I love the shit out of it right now. I know, I thought it was cute. Yeah, cleaning this will be, but they still managed to pull it off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Oh, don't say anything yet! An underground wine cellar!
We must be related, because I would have been just as excited about an underground wine cellar. This is the first time the guy in gray speaks up, Mr. Luke Wright. My memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in this place. But this time, something lights up in the eyes at the mention of the Undercroft. What is so interesting about a basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has just seen what he obviously wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see a child act that way. My younger siblings, especially. But on a grown man? It's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Jesus Christ. 11,000 to 7,000 bottles of wine? For an underground cellar? That's a lot of wine. God bless.
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar had been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You should watch this with me, hon. That way you could comment on it and you can help me with selections and junk.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it.
Yeah, the name of the family who owned this previous was called the Ermengarde, but I'm calling it the Ermengarde.
We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
Okay. There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased, that he has started to show interest, if only a little. I smiled to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than a half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading up to the parlor. Funny, the first time we surveyed the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now, I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a prospective sale? When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as a small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my— oh my god, why? Why, game? Really?
What? Oh.
Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing and lurking in the corner of my vision. I can hear the whispers. Yeah. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look and see what it is. A chill that settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break into a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just—
Excuse me, everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I'll let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer, until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there?
Be the fucking... Okay.
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you! Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
What a hard worker! Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
Please, just Hannah. Call me Hannah. I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is she being serious? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further, putting a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she's tasted a particularly sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem.
Well, when you're wearing the heart of the ocean, duh, bitch.
And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
Ooh.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hannah. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but what's really wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she speaking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person.
Yeah, me too.
But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon.
Oh.
And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I struggle not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. I can't help but send an imploring look as Miss McCullough, who only gives me an apologetic smile and shrug.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is gonna be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
This bitch.
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and... What's this?
Oh fuck. A look of confusion and disgust is apparent on her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with... what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course.
Fuck.
It has to always work with a palette.
So, earlier, when she met the fucking grudge-looking bitch, there was a letter that she had seen beforehand that it just said, help me, all the way down, and it said, send this to 5 people or else. Yeah.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything earlier. Are the papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But in the way Ma'am Hannah is leading the conversation, I'm afraid this is exactly what'll happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
A smile is back on her lips when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't hear the rest of what she has to say after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my
Isabella?
mind.
Isabella? Are you alright? You're looking pale.
I don't even notice when Rose, as well as the other group touring the mansion, joins us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say that no, I'm not alright. I want to leave this place, because I remember everything as clear as day. The letter, and that woman in the attic, it's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking at what I've gone mad? Should I even tell them? Should I show her the chain letter?
They're showing 3 people.
So I might as well show her. Might as well, right? I blurted out before I can even think twice about what I'm going to say.
Rose, we need to get out of here. This place is cursed.
Rose casts a nervous glance at the people near us. Most are still engaged in conversation with their peers, but those curious enough to turn their heads in the direction of our little group have been given her trademark saleswoman smile. A tight expression is on her face when she pulls me aside.
Isabella, we've already had a conversation about this weeks ago. Those are just stories.
I don't think so.
And I'm telling you that it's not. I saw something in there. It's not human at all. I thought it was just nothing, but isn't this letter proof enough?
She gently reaches out to pluck the paper off my hand. Without even taking a glance at it, she folds it back neatly.
Look, I'm really getting worried about you. I know you want to see this open house through, but your condition is more important. Give me a few minutes to wrap things up here, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital.
No! You don't understand! There isn't a condition, Rose. No concussion at all. I'm fine. But this place isn't, and you're being stubborn about it.
Duh. Before Rose can open her mouth for a retort, a hand lands on both our shoulders, pulling the two of us a distance closer.
Now, ladies, what seems to be the problem here?
Nothing, sir. I just had to clarify a few things with my colleague.
Well, it certainly seems intense. A smile fits the two of you better, in my opinion. Especially darling little Lily here.
He gives my shoulder a gentle squeeze, an insecurable smile spreading on his mouth at the same time.
It's Isabella, sir.
I can read, I swear.
Of course. But my point still stands. And with two beautiful ladies here, I'm sure.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
They cannot get Isabella's name right. The pressure on my shoulder lifts as soon as those words leave his wife's lips, while the scowl on her face is like a splash of cold water on me. It's also impossible to miss the displeased frown from Miss McCullough's face. The realization that we might lose a sale because of my outburst dawns on me. Rose will be beyond pissed.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology and gather my stuff to make a quick exit. It doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I've caused trouble, and Rose can be quite unforgiving of behavior like this. I'm almost at the door of the parlor when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious on my face. Because of her expression instantly shifts to something gentler, her eyes softer, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off before shifting her gaze down to her hands, a small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it, nevertheless. She's more automatic. Yeah, whatever. And then any desire to have it back. I'll throw it away if I can. But I have this nagging feeling that, one way or another, it'll find its way back to me, regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, you have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly, and we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery.
You and me both, sister.
But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She clasps her hands together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. And I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I feel any less awful. Whether at myself or at the unlucky turn the situation has taken, or for her, I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
A little, yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
True.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob, and I don't even know what that means.
Oh, shit. It has to be one of the greatest lines in almost any video game ever. Oh, God bless. At the memory, she dissolves into helpless giggles, which I also join in, earning us strange looks from the guests milling about the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishaps that happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
Still not okay with it, but Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
Clearly.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, all right? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who'll fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can even voice a word of complaint. With nothing else to do, I find myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderlies, gathered some ways opposite of us, is occupied in a friendly banter about which one will cost more to buy. A little argument here, and occasional laughter and teasing there. I smiled to myself. The conversation reminds me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help? Speaking of, I should call Ash. It's only a few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask for a call once I'm done. Besides, I don't even have a ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept the latter, personal convictions and all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, is that. Well, whatever way works, a free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer, too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later, the call finally connects and...
Shit!
What?
Shit, how loud is this thing even?
Sharp ringing fills the entire hall, disrupting the pleasant quiet that has settled. Soon enough, heads begin to turn in search of the source, mine included. My eyes dart around the small crowd before zeroing in on one long figure crouched behind the same group of old people, checking out the decorous moments ago. He's facing away from me, fumbling with something in his hands. But I don't need to see his face to know whose back it is. Oh, I'll recognize that dumb parka anywhere. Without bothering to end the call, I marched towards him. And what happened today? I'm really not in the mood to deal with this.
Of all the times to...
Ashton Frey!
Oh, shit. What happens next is something I'll surely regret later for having not recorded. He jumps and lets out an undignified yelp, followed by his phone slipping out from his grip. It bounces from one hand to another as his poor attempt to catch it before ultimately falling flat on the floor with a resounding clack. I kind of feel sorry for the phone. And the floor. And it's not every day that you can catch someone like Ash off guard and get a reaction. Damn his stupid detective senses. I'll take every ounce of victory I can get, no matter how small. Ah! An awkward pause passes between us. A blink. A cough. He makes a face. And then, in a too-quick motion, he ducks and retrieves his abused gadget, while a grin threatens to break out from my lips. He doesn't meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. In another universe, where we wouldn't have known each other for 5 years and suffering through his teasing is not a day-to-day occurrence, chances are I'll find that adorable. Endearing, even. Unfortunately, this isn't that kind of world. The way things are, I'm already content to see him out of his normally collected disposition.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
What? And miss that look on your face? No way! Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
I am so honored you find this funny. Is that how you treat your guests? I think I need to talk to your supervisor.
Talk to yourself. You aren't even a guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment, he looks like a cat that swallowed the canary. Suddenly checking every nook and cranny in his phone for any damage or scratches seems to be a more interesting activity than explaining himself.
Ash?
I could be looking to buy a house.
A mansion?
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
He's messing with me.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
He chances a glimpse at some point behind me. The parlor? Curious, I follow his gaze. Before I can figure out what has caused the tension, he places a hand on my shoulder and turns me back to face
I just finished
him.
working on something earlier than expected, so I dropped by.
I still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm like he's touched something particularly hot and casually rubs the back of his neck.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all. So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client, at least.
We have a mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said... Never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face because he pauses and gives me a long, hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easy reading people is for Ash, given how often he looks as if everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he'll drop the subject and won't ask any more questions, The last thing I want is to tell him what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the last person on Earth I'll ever think about telling it to, if I can help it. Sure, he's a dependable guy. God knows how many times he's helped me, even without me asking for it. But stuff like ghosts and the supernatural? He'll never believe me, even if those things he hears from a friend, except maybe if it's Becca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you a detailed explanation of why those things have no chance of ever being real. At worst, he's insufferable. He'll poke fun at you at every single chance he'll get. Ashhole. What did I ever do to him? But he never does that Becca or Zach. Or he never does that to Becca or Zach. I can already imagine how things will go down the moment I spill a word of what I saw in the attic. Nope, over my dead body. Before it catches his attention, I shove the letter still collapsed in my hand deep into my bag.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
We still have Zach's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What about... Hey, Isabella, wait up!
A rush of air greets me as soon as the main door opens. Not the usual autumn draft, but still a welcome change from the stifling atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps are quick behind me, the soles of his shoes thumping hard against the polished concrete in an awkward cadence as he rushes